Hello, and welcome to Reddit Rewind, where we go over Reddit's most ridiculous stories. So, I got another Prorevenge story for you guys, and this is about how basically you shouldn't take credit for other people's work because it comes back and bites you in the butt. The story on how I got promoted to Director of Sales and Sales Recruitment. I've been with my current employer for many, many years now. Even though I've quit, I've come back to them. My company also has an incentive. If an employee comes up with a way to do business better or changes something that has a net benefit to the company, they get a percentage of the increased revenue or profit. Over the years with this company, I've had several major impacts. Well, about a year ago, I was talking to a senior level manager, let's call him Bob. And Bob was telling me about how the company has been having an issue in recruitment and hiring of new talent for our sales division. Now, I had been in sales before and knew of the pitfalls our structure created and why senior reps would excel and junior reps would get crushed, and had a really good idea on our turnover challenges. Then one night, I had an idea on how to change the sales structure of our company almost entirely, which would still retain our senior reps, but also make it easier for younger, more junior reps to find success and stability by result reducing turnover. I spent a good amount of time designing this plan before I ever presented it to anyone, since this was Bob's area or expertise. After many revisions and bouncing it around in my head, I called Bob and presented my idea to Bob. Bob liked it a lot. However, he had a few minor tweaks, and he brought up concerns company executives would have. I tweaked the plan and came up with rebuttals to those objections and shared my plan with Bob. I did this several times. I would say, though, my plan stayed about 90% original. Bob had been with my company for decades at this point, and I've known him for my entire time, so I trusted Bob would be sure to credit me. Considering my name was all over my presentation I sent over to Bob, I expected Bob to share in the love with me should there be any. I felt like I needed Bob as an ally to make my idea work, which is why I brought him in on my plan. I followed up with Bob, and he basically made it seem like my idea was rejected, that the company was going to keep on doing what it always done. Okay, fine, whatever. S happens. It's not the first time my idea has been rejected. Cue a few months later, and our new fiscal year is starting, and our CEO calls everyone to a company-wide meeting. As I sit down to watch, I witness our CEO praise Bob for coming up with a brilliant new sales structure, strategy, and compensation plan. It is my plan, with my name removed. The CEO is gushing over how wonderful he thinks this idea is, and how he thinks it will benefit us greatly. I am freaking fuming pissed Bob stole my work, put his name on it, and took credit. He violated my trust and lied to me. He told me the company had rejected the idea. Yet here I am watching my company implement my idea. I get on the phone with the VP and let loose. Now, my VP, let's call him Tim, is a really good guy, and I trust him. Tim is taken aback, says that right around the time I presented my plan to Bob, Bob started presenting to senior management, and it was almost immediately considered a great idea. In fact, Bob knew the company was considering forcing him into retirement because they felt Bob was holding the company back, and the company needed to make a change, and this idea saved Bob's job. Now, to give you an overview of how in-depth my plan was, it completely changed how we present ourselves to new potential hires, completely changed our sales training to be more focused on real-world realities, refine the sales order process to reduce workload and streamline. Did all that using current infrastructure. Each step included suggestions on how to implement the change. Bob oversaw all of this in his current role. I then asked if I could prove that it was my idea, that I had presented it to Bob, and so forth. Now, Bob and I had discussed this over email and Facebook Messenger and another chat app. I went through my emails, Facebook Messenger, and a chat app and took screenshots, created a PowerPoint, makes it so easy to present ideas, and sent it to my VP. 2 days later, my VP called and said I needed to go to the conference call with HR, my VP, and the CEO. In that meeting, we discussed the plan I had created, the collaboration I had done with Bob, and my plan to implement it. Not only that I presented the research that I had done, which Bob did not have access to, and justify why my plan was a good idea. The CEO seemed impressed with what I had done and was convinced I was the true creator. I was then asked what I thought would happen, and I straight up accused Bob with stealing my idea and removing my name from it in an attempt to further his career. I was told they were having a separate meeting with Bob, and after that, they would inform me of any future changes. A week later, my VP called me and asked if I was offered the chance to implement my plan, would I be willing to do that? This was obviously a promotion, and I said, of course. 2 weeks later, I got a call from the VP telling me he's coming to my location to visit me. He also tells me I should make sure I look sharp and presentable. I tried to figure out why he was coming, but he wouldn't say. 2 days later, I come into my office, check my email. Now, all big retirements, resignations are announced company-wide. I see an email stating that Bob has retired. What I found strange is that the retirement date was effective immediately and that his replacement would be announced shortly. Generally, there is a time period for a takeover to happen, and the replacement is announced in the email, along with a brief overview of their qualifications. The time for my VP to show up comes, and in walks my VP and CEO. We go out to lunch, and the CEO says, PJ, I came to visit you because I always think it's best to give people major promotions the news in person. But I'd like to offer you the position of Director of Sales and Sales Recruitment and put you in charge of implementing your idea. To which I accepted naturally. Then I asked, is this why Bob, retired? To which the CEO smiled and said, after talking to you and talking to Bob and discussing it among senior management, it was decided that it was time for a change. Time to inject new blood into our organization. And Bob really wanted to start his retirement, so it was best for everyone. I smiled and said thank you. I know perfectly well Bob intended on working until the day he died. Wow, okay, so that was another pro-revenge story right there about just don't steal other people's work. He could have avoided so much of this if he'd just given some of the credit to our author here. So I went through the comment section again, found a few posts that were related to this that I enjoyed, so here they are. Funny thing is, if Bob was touting your idea from the start, he could have wrote it for a couple more good years. Hey bosses, PJ Expat came to me with this great idea, and I think we should run with it. I'm going to personally take him under my wing and help him develop it. With his creativity and my industry knowledge, guile, this new direction will be a real boon. I think PJ should get a promotion out of this. It's that good. Bob would have cruised into retirement in style, sharing in your bonus and your success. This comment pretty much says it all. If he just shared the credit, not try to take it for himself, save his career selfishly, but actually gone it with him in the project, taking him under his wing, he could have definitely rode this out and looked like a star. So yeah, just don't be a selfish jerk. Share the love and everyone benefits. So next comment I found, which basically sums up how you should react basically whenever you're going to present anything, any of your ideas to anyone, is this. Document everything as if it's going to eventually get subpoenaed. You did, and that's why they fired him. They might have had a lawsuit pending if they didn't correct that situation. So yeah, this commenter makes a great point. Whenever you have an idea for work or an own original idea for whatever you want to do, document it like crazy because you never know when people will try to steal your idea, take credit or whatever. Document, 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 and use it as evidence to strengthen your point at the end because, yeah, people are jerks. All right, guys, well, that's it for today. Tell me what you like in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and till next time.